This is Rapid Action Animations here, and today I'm going to be doing a video reviewing a haul of LS3D parts I got. So the parts that I got consisted of some Titanfall 2 weapons and helmets and some modern military styled helmets and various gear like that. The first weapon we're going to be looking at is the Karl SMG, featured in Apex Legends and Titanfall. So this weapon from LS3D was 3D printed like all the others, and it had very great detailing. I really liked the smaller details on it too, and it was generally a very high quality, good part, and I'd definitely recommend it. The next weapon we're looking at is the R201, also similar to R301, featured in Apex Legends and in Titanfall 2, the series of the Rs, and it didn't have as much finer detail, but it was very nicely done, and drilling a hole into the barrel can also help add some extra realism to it. I would have liked to had some more, a longer grip on the barrel because it was hard to hold with the figure, and perhaps some detailing on the handles themselves for better grip and for detailing, but otherwise it was very good and I totally recommend it as well. This weapon I believe was the Asphalt from his website. It's got great detailing on the barrel and the grips everywhere, very minute details, and it's very well done. It's already got a barrel with a hole in it and it's very nice. Generally this weapon was very well made and high quality by LS3D, and I totally recommend it. Next weapon, we have some sort of sniper. Don't exactly remember the name, but it's also Titanfall universe. Great detailing, although this weapon is probably the lowest quality of all the ones I've seen so far. The 3D printing lines are kind of obvious, but otherwise it was pretty good. This weapon is the flatline feature in Apex Legends and Titanfall, and it has great detailing, one of the best of all the parts. Nice little screws, rivets, sorts of things like that. And this one I definitely recommend. It was outstanding. LS3D did a great job printing it, very clean, very well done, and it holds very well in the hands of any Mega Construx figures. Our next weapon is gonna be, our next thing that we're gonna be looking at is a helmet. And so this helmet is from Titanfall. I don't know all the Titanfall weapons or much of the lore. I haven't played the game too much, so I don't know. But generally the helmet was very well made, and same with this one. I like all the attachments to the helmets, all the flashlights, and various gear, scanners, sensors, and those types of things. They really added to it. Here we have some of the modern military helmets. So as you can see, all three of these are very similar, so I'm going to show them in consecutive order. Generally, these are very cool. I like the goggles, the gas mask, the helmet. They're very well made. And I got three variations, but they're close enough that they're not too different, so that you can have a sort of uniqueness to each one and still army build with them. This was the only other unique one, with the visor being much larger. This one I like the most. I think it's the most realistic in terms of what gas masks usually look like, but it's just a different style. Definitely recommend those. So now we're going to be looking at the final helmet. So this is the droid helmet, I believe it's called, from Titanfall 2, correct me if I'm wrong. It had great detailing, very geometric, it reminded me a lot of Pathfinder from Apex Legends. Great detailing. I like the attachments. I have nothing else to say. I would also recommend this helmet, as it was definitely worth it, and I will try to use it in some future videos. There you just have an overhead view of one of the previous helmets. So as you can see, there's lots of nice things added on top of the helmets. So now I'm going to be discussing some of the issues I had with the parts. So as you can see here, this LS3D did warn me about this, but his parts are not meant to sit exactly very snugly. They're supposed to sit kind of on the edge so that they can move more. As you can see, the closer I put it to the top, the easier it moves. The closer down, the harder it is to move, the more resistance. So just a thing to keep in mind for animators. It can be a little bit annoying, but it's just something to get used to, and I'm sure it's not too much of a problem. As you can see, this is the same problem I had with this helmet. Most of them are like this, but if you just put it on a little bit looser, you won't have many issues with this. There's a lot of Mega Construx helmets that are like this, so if you move like Halo Mega Construx helmets to COD figures, it's definitely going to cause some issues and not fit exactly on, so that's kind of a normal thing, but generally the articulation on the helmets was pretty decent. The other issue I had with the figures was the handles. So on the R201 part, the second handle was very small and it just barely fit the hand, which is fine, but generally these some of these things, some of the handles were loose. As you can see now, that handle was loose. It's pretty easy to knock it out of the figure's hands, and some of the weapons were just hard to put into the figure's hands in the first place. So as an animator, it is a bit of a struggle, but you can say the same thing about Mega Construx parts. Mega Construx Call of Duty weapons are also very flimsy, very hard to angle in certain ways compared to the Mega Construx Halo weapons, but this is just due to their bulkiness, and same with these weapons. Some of them are just bigger or unique in some ways, so just harder to attach figures to them. But once you get used to it, once you overcome that and find solutions like sticky tack and or other methods, it's pretty it's not much of an issue at that point. So it's not something that I would be worried about, just a little thing to note, just so you're aware of it if you do plan on getting LS3D parts. So the last thing we're going to be looking at now is how I painted the parts. So with the gas masks, I went with a black, green, black, gray, and silver for the visors, and I weathered them, and the helmets were mainly just gray, green, and also just some extra weathering. For all the stuff that I painted, I used Tamiya paints. Definitely recommend them. From my modeling background, from when I was younger, I used to build models and I use Tamiya most often, and it's a very good product, works very well, high quality, and will give you some great results, but you can use whatever you want. Paint went on very well. It did take away some of the details. It is hard to put a thin coat of paint on, and that is a bit of a challenge, especially with like hard plastic parts and stuff like that. So it did take some of the detail away, so I would recommend trying to thin your paint out a little bit, and also try to do it quickly, because if your paint dries and you have to do multiple coats, you will lose that detail a bit. It didn't take away from the parts in the end, as they still looked amazing with the painting, and I think it was worth it. It did bring out the detail, but I would definitely be careful about that. But generally it turned out well. So the color scheme I went with was mainly gray, black, green, and also some silver highlighting, and then on top of everything I took some paint where I added some water to black paint and made a black wash and to brown paint, and I used those two to make sort of weather washes to bring out the details and also make the silver and metallic scratches and dusting stand out less. So as you can see here, we have some pictures of the finished products. I think they turned out very well. I was very happy with it, and having these parts now, I'll be able to go into different universes. So I'll be able to create my own original universe one day, hopefully. I'll be able to go into Titanfall / Apex Legends videos, into Half-Life, into various different things. I could even use these for COD videos, for Terminator videos. So I can honestly do a lot more having these parts, considering that Mega Construx didn't make parts like these. It just opens my horizons to more things. Quick update for you guys, I'm still working on my big project right now. I'm putting everything into that, so there won't be much content until that. Expect a trailer sometime at the end of summer, and I'll do my best to get it out, but I'm doing my best also to keep the quality high, so stay tuned for that. This was Rapid Action Animations, and thank you for watching.